Hey guys, this is Brad at IOPS 360. Today's webinar is going to cover a scheduling feature called Rebuild. And what the Rebuild will do is recreate the events for one specific user. And this might be used, let's say you've built the calendar for 2-3 months out, and all of a sudden the supervisor is changing from A shift to B shift. Or you've got a user who is starting, you've got a new truck coming online in the middle of the month, or somebody's going out on light duty, something like that. You want to make some changes that are substantial, and the calendar's been built several months out. We could roll the calendar all the way back, but if you've already built open positions, you've already got leave address, leaves and swaps, and all kinds of complex things, rolling it back is not always the best option. So if we want to build the calendar just for one specific person, or if you've got two personnel that are swapping, we could obviously rebuild it for the first person and rebuild for the second person. And what it'll do is it'll look at the unit that's assigned in that employee's profile, and it will decide what are we going to do with the existing shifts if there are any, and then it's going to say these are the shifts that we're going to create to basically rebuild that one specific person's schedule. So let's take a look at that. If we click on users and we go to the users list, we're going to find one of the people here that we want to move around. And let's pick, we'll do supervisor A shift. On here, this is showing that he is on A shift on EMS1. So we're going to hit edit the user, and then we're going to click on the employment unit assignment, and let's change him from EMS1 to EMS2. You could change the shift, you could do whatever you like there. But up in the top right hand corner, you're going to see a little slider that says rebuild users events. If you ever forget what this is or anything, you can always hover over the little blue question marks, and this will give you a little explanation of what these are. But let's turn this feature on, rebuild, and then we're going to hit update users profile. So we're going to, normally this would go back to the user's view page, but instead, since we enabled the slider to rebuild, it drops us over to the rebuild function. And it basically says that right now we made a change to a user's profile, and we've built the calendar through October of 2018. It's going to come up and ask you, well, what date do you want these changes to be effective? And by default, it's going to take today's date, but you could always set this for next Thursday or whatever shift you like. And then it's going to populate the bottom two lists. On the left-hand side, it's going to show the user's current schedule. So all the events from the effective date that we've got highlighted here until when the calendar has been created. And in our case, it's October of 2018. And then on the right-hand side, it's going to read the user shift, the unit, the position, hours, those kind of things from the user's profile. And this is what we're going to create here in a second. So on the left-hand side is the existing, and then on the right-hand side is the preview of what's about to be created. So if the user was on, let's say, B shift, and you can see we've got some A shift, C shift, we've got some variety of events here. The schedule is going to give us three options for each event. We can keep the event as is. We can modify the event and make it an open position so that you can find additional coverage, use part-timers, those kind of things. Or we can delete the event altogether. Reasons that you would want to keep it as is. Let's say that the supervisor's on A shift and they're doing a special event thing, or there's some meeting, there's anything out of the ordinary, and you don't want to remove that event from the user's profile. Then you would click that as keep the person assigned to it. Where you would want to typically take the events and you would open them up to open positions so that you could have someone else fill it in, utilize those part-timers. Reasons you wouldn't want to open an event up or let it become an open position is, let's say supervisor A and supervisor B are swapping. We're going to rebuild them both. In that case, if we didn't delete the event, then whenever we create the new event, we would have double coverage on all those. So if two people are swapping, you're rebuilding user 1 and user 2, that would be a reason that we would want to delete the events. So you can click on the alls above or right below the delete, convert to open, and keep, and those will move all the little radio boxes down here below. But let's say typically we're going to convert everything to open positions, and let's say we want to keep them on that QRV for that day. You can select the little radios next to each event between now and when the calendar's been built. And then again on the right hand side, this is what the scheduler is about to create. So these are all going to be from their profile was A shift and EMS2. It operates for 24 hours starting at 8 a.m. And that'll give you a little confirmation there. So again, it's going to keep the supervisor A assigned on the QRV, and then all of these other positions that are in here are going to be converted to open positions, meaning other people can sign up for them, or you can utilize your part-timers, or people can request to work them, those kind of things. And then anything that's in the user's already been assigned to that you want to delete it altogether, you're not going to cover it, or you're going to swap two personnel, those would be things we would delete. So again, we've got current schedule, how we're going to mitigate those, how we're going to merge those records. We've got the new events that are going to be built on the right. We'll hit modify the current events and build it for the user. Once this is done, it's going to reapply any swaps, any leave requests that have been put into the system, all those things are now going to be applied, and the schedule's been rebuilt for that supervisor. If that way doesn't work, you can always utilize the mass modify under the schedule admin menu. There's a mass modify feature in here as well. That'll allow you to make some bigger global changes, but the rebuild is a great little function that'll target just that one individual, rebuild their schedule nice and quick. All right, thanks guys.